A man managed to turn a simple roulette wheel into a $30 million jackpot, and he didn't even break the law doing it. Sounds impossible, right? Roulette is supposed to be all about luck, yet somehow he cracked a way to tilt the game in his favor. So how does someone beat a system designed to make the house win every single time? The secret wasn't magic. It was pure brains, and it left casinos stunned. Just think about it. A game that has swallowed fortunes for decades suddenly turned into a money machine for one clever player. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, whispers started spreading through the most luxurious casinos in London. A few men, always calm and neatly dressed but never flashy, were winning amounts that made no sense. At first, people thought it was luck. After all, sometimes luck strikes in casinos. A person can walk in, bet a little, and walk out with enough to buy a house. But this was different. These men didn't win once and vanish. They kept coming back. Every night they would sit at the European roulette tables, never celebrating too loudly. They placed big bets, but always with control. Dealers noticed something strange. These men never looked nervous. Their eyes stayed locked on the wheel, and their hands moved with surgical precision. In one night, they could pocket tens of thousands. Within weeks, they were counting millions. And when London was done, they showed up in Monte Carlo. After that, Las Vegas. Everywhere they went, casinos were left scratching their heads. Casinos are used to winners, but not like this. Not night after night, country after country, on different wheels, against different dealers. Surveillance tapes were checked, hours of footage reviewed. Experts searched for magnets under tables, marked chips, collusion with staff. Nothing. The chips were clean, the wheels were fine. The dealers were honest, yet the numbers still didn't add up. Something was happening that defied the game's supposed randomness. Roulette is supposed to be pure chance. The European wheel has 37 slots, numbers 1 through 36, plus a single zero. The American wheel adds a double zero, making 38 slots. That tiny difference gives the casino a bigger edge. And that edge is everything. The longer you play, the house always wins. Every spin is meant to be unpredictable, independent, and impossible to forecast. At least, that's the illusion. But physics doesn't lie. A ball doesn't bounce forever. It slows. It follows predictable patterns. It lands. Not random, just complicated. The winning crew knew this. They realized if you could measure the wheel speed and the ball speed quickly enough, you could know where the ball would most likely land. Not the exact number, but the section. And, in roulette, narrowing it down from 37 options to 6 or 7 is enough to flip the odds completely. Their secret wasn't in the chips or the dealer. It was in their shoes, their cuffs, or their pockets. Tiny devices. Sometimes disguised as mobile phones, sometimes as small scanners. When the dealer spun the wheel and released the ball, the device recorded the speeds. In seconds, it calculated the probable landing zone. The players would then spread their chips across that section. They didn't win every spin, but they won far more often than chance should allow. Over time, that margin turned into unstoppable profit. The most famous case exploded in 2004 at the Ritz Casino in London. 3 gamblers, 2 men and a woman, walked in and sat down like normal players. They weren't loud. They weren't hiding. But unlike others, they weren't guessing. They were calculating. Using concealed phones running custom software, they tracked the wheel and the ball. In just 2 nights, they walked out with over £1.3 million. The casino was stunned. Security detained them, searched them, questioned them. They found the phones. But here's the twist. Nothing they did was technically illegal. They hadn't tampered with the wheel. They hadn't bribed the dealer. They hadn't used magnets or fake chips. They had simply observed, measured, and calculated. The law had never imagined someone using physics to beat roulette. They walked free, and they kept the money. Casinos panicked. Experts were hired, mathematicians brought in, surveillance poured over. Eventually, they noticed subtle things: a man adjusting his cuff before every bet, another staring just a bit too long at the wheel. Hotel rooms were checked, and custom roulette software was found on phones. But once again, the law couldn't touch them. Courts were divided. Some judges called it cheating. Others called it brilliance. Most cases collapsed. The players walked free, again and again. London, 2004. The Ritz Casino wasn't a place for small players. It was velvet carpets, champagne trays, and the kind of money most people never even see on paper. And at the heart of it all was roulette. The game casinos bragged was untouchable. No pattern, no weakness, no way to beat it. Or so everyone thought. That night, 3 players walked in. Nothing about them screamed genius or criminal. They sat down, placed their chips, and watched the wheel spin. But there was something different in the way they moved. Calm, calculated, almost too sure of themselves. While everyone else was playing blind, they were waiting for the right moment. Hidden in their pockets wasn't cash or lucky charms, it was tech. Small, custom devices that tracked the spin of the wheel and the speed of the ball. The kind of edge that turned roulette from a game of chance into simple math. They weren't gambling, they were predicting. And the predictions worked. Spin after spin, the chips stacked higher. Casinos fought back the only way they could. Dealers were trained to spin wheels differently every time. Betting times were shortened. Wheels were replaced more often to prevent wear patterns. But the truth remained. The game had been cracked. And that illusion of randomness, the bedrock of roulette, was broken forever. The legacy of that crew still hangs over casinos. Their brilliance proved one shocking truth. Even the games built to be unbeatable can fall when someone looks closely enough. So, was it cheating, or was it genius? That debate may never end. But what's certain is this: a roulette wheel, once thought untouchable, will never be seen the same way again. That was the mind-blowing trick that flipped the casino world upside down. From a game of chance to a $30 million jackpot, it shows how one clever move can change everything. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more unbelievable stories.